Hello everybody and welcome to my comic review. I am Rainbow Red Panda and today I am reviewing the IDW comic by Joe Hill. It is called Thumbprint. It is a three-part series that is based on the novella of the same title, same author obviously. I didn't really know what to expect whenever I went into this. It's kind of a different title. I mean, you can see by the thing that it has something to do. It has some sort of military related thing. This figure has an army jacket on and is carrying some sort of gun. It portrays the life of Private Mallory Grennan, who just got, I'm guessing she got dishonorably discharged. I don't see how anything honorable can come out of what she was accused of. She just got sent back from the army. Her father just died like right before she got back. So now she works at a bar called the Milky Way Bar that is run by John Petty. And he is kind of a jerk and just not a nice person. He is constantly trying to get her to do inappropriate things with him. He is married and she wants no part of him. But she was serving overseas, sort of, in this area where they kept like terrorist prisoners and things like that. And if you guys, I don't know, follow any of the news coverage from, I don't know, a few years back, I don't remember the exact year, but they kind of had like a scandal on the news. I'm not sure if this story was based on it at all or if it's just kind of a coincidence, but a lot of soldiers have gotten in trouble, like at Guantanamo and things like that, by taking, you know, inappropriate pictures of them with soldiers. And this kind of follows kind of the same thing. She was discharged and things for taking pictures with the soldiers, like with them being like naked and inappropriately posed, and then her having like her boot on their head and standing, you know, like, ha, like, look what I'm doing. The picture that got released of this was just her boot, so they couldn't prove that it was her, so she kind of got off clean. But she was still discharged and is now back where she started. So I need to research this, I guess, to see if this is based on like one of those news stories, but it's very similar, so I would not be surprised. But later on, you know, she's working at the bar. She ends up like standing up to her boss, I guess. He doesn't drive, he doesn't have a car, and he seems to be the kind of guy who, even though he's at work, he is going to drink a lot of alcohol, especially since he owns a bar. So she offers to give him a ride home and then ends up like kicking him out of the car and leaving him. He isn't very happy. The next morning, when she checks her mail, she has an envelope that was not from a post office. It was just an envelope that somebody stuck in her mailbox. It has, you know, her address and everything on it. She opens it up and all that's in it is a thumbprint. She swears that she doesn't know who did this, but she feels like somehow she knows this thumbprint from somewhere. She tries to remember. She's concerned with her safety. She starts carrying weapons with her. She's determined that this is somehow related to the stuff that happened in her army days. Later on, she goes for a walk and, you know, comes home, finds the same thumbprint, not different letter, but same thumbprint, like on her walk to go home. And it looks like in the end that someone is watching her. So you kind of, with issue number 2 and 3, you'll find out, you know, what happens with the rest of the story. It is an interesting concept. Joe Hill, one of my friends yesterday, just texted me. He's like, you need to read Lock and Key, and I don't read that. So he's like, you need to read it. And ironically, Joe Hill also writes Lock and Key. So if you guys read Lock and Key, 1, let me know if you like it, since I'm apparently supposed to read it. And 2, Joe Hill writes Thumbprint also, so if you guys really like Lock and Key, you might really like Thumbprint. So I texted him this morning. I was like, hey, that's funny, you know, that you told me about Lock and Key last night, because I'm reading this thing called Thumbprint, and it's written by the same guy. So, I mean, it's kind of described as a thriller. It seems like it's going to get a lot more interesting. Just based on the first issue, I wouldn't say that it is necessarily a go out and must read, but I think the series, all in all, is going to be really good and really solid. So I would suggest starting it now if you're going to, but it is just a 3-issue series, so IDW might just, you know, compile them all together and release them all at once after all 3 of them are released. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. I kind of think that they made a little misprint in the little captions where it says, like, you know what month this thing came out. It doesn't say like, oh, it came out in June or it came out in July. It says month here. I feel like maybe whoever proofread this forgot to actually insert the month, but I got this in the last few weeks, so it came out fairly recently. But it is kind of, it's not a glossy comic, it's not a glossy cover or anything, which is fine. I'm not that stereotypical and demanding of my comics that they have to be glossy for me to read them. I actually kind of like these better because it's not going to leave fingerprints, and it's called Thumbprint. But I mean, it's a darker drawing style. There's not a lot of bright colors. It's mostly like dark, maybe like the same 4 colors that are used over again. And that's just kind of what happens. The Thumbprint is kind of like the only thing that has any sort of collection. The next issue looks like it's going to be a red cover, which this one's red as well. But this cover looks a lot more interesting. Looks like a lot more things happen. So yeah, if you can see the Thumbprint letter that she gets, it's literally just like this messy thumbprint. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to see, you know, what happens with this thumbprint. The thumbprint is the center of this whole story. So I don't know, if you guys are interested in it, you can pick it up at your local comic book store. This is one that I got at a comic book store. I did not have my store order it for me. I will have them order the other issues for me, but this is one that I just picked up in a random store, so I'm sure that a lot of stores carry it, so you shouldn't have a problem finding it. I'm also sure that it's probably available online. You can also just read the short story if you want to. And that's, I don't know, that's all I have for this. So if you guys like this video, be sure to rate it thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can follow me on Facebook or on Twitter. And I don't know, just leave me a comment if you've read it, or if you want to read it, or if you have read Lock and Key or anything else that Joe Hill's done, and just let me know what you think about it. So that's all I have for this review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!